Alright, welcome to the first game of week 2 of the DUSKIT Draft League. We have Gray versus Zuhaer here. On Gray's side, we have the Oculus, the Holobunch, Luxor, Nemesis, Eruptodon, probably Soulburst, Swolder, and the Knockout. On Zuhaer's side, we have the Cleone, we have the Bait and Captivating with the Lamp Purge, the Plasma, the Ragoon, the Halvantic, the Ursul, and the Stratosaur. Stratosaur is looking, honestly, really good into Gray's team. The only thing that it cannot hit for super effective damage, I believe, is the Nemesis and the Oculus, which both get hit for super effective damage from the Plasma. Sorry, I'm bad with saying things right now. Which both get hit for super effective damage from the Plasma. However, Oculus is looking really good into this team, and it seems like Gray might be going for a Swift in game mode this time around. See the Plasmoth and Ragoon lead coming from Zuhaer, and the Luxor and Eruptodon coming from Gray. Luxor obviously will be able to go for a Swift in and cannot be flinched due to the Confidence ability. And Eruptodon... Sorry, my brain blanked. Eruptodon will be able to Soul Burst, offering super effective damage onto that Ragoon. Of course, they can also be preemptive striked by Plasmoth. So we could just see a dodge or a Magma Block coming from this Eruptodon as we see the Swiften coming from Luxor. I feel like the double preemptive strike is likely coming from Zuhaer's side, which makes dodges ever the more likely coming from Eruptodon and Luxor. Except Luxor doesn't really need it to dodge. We see the Ragoon preemptive strike going into the Luxor. Ragoon's ability seals whoa, that is an interaction I did not know about. What the? Hold on. Preemptive strike ability thief on Luxor steals confidence and flinches it? What the? Props to Zuhaer for figuring that one out, because there's no way you do that without the confidence, no pun intended, that would work. And then the Provoke going onto the Luxor, meaning that no Swiften will be getting set up for the next 3 turns unless this Luxor swaps out. Now this Plasmoth can also offer damage onto this Eruptodon with the use of maybe a Pestilence, and Provoke will be able to stop setting up Magnifies or using Magma Block, protecting itself. But we do see the Eruptodon just Soul Bursting, giving it that Earth typing, making it immune to any of the electric type moves coming from Zuhaer's Plasmoth. And then Luxor Flash and Flee into the Ragoon, dealing super effective damage but not quite picking up a KO. Whether that is trained to live, that I'm completely unsure. But we see the Swolder swap in as Plasmoth Zip Zap goes into Eruptodon, dealing no damage to the new immunity. Swolder's webbing being hit, affecting this Ragoon, but it is just dead due to the holy hell, I cannot speak right now. It is dead due to the Hellstorm coming from Eruptodon, the charged arc from the Eruptodon, or from the Plasmoth onto the Eruptodon coming from the Hellstorm. And now Stratosaur is out on the field. Stratosaur is very threatening to both of the Lumions that are currently here on the field. But Stratosaur itself is being threatened by the Eruptodon, who is 100% slower. There is no way the Eruptodon will ever be able to outspeed this Stratosaur due to the paralysis, even under Swiften. Being extremely unlucky, Stratosaur does just use a quick and easy dodge, as Swolder counterplaces the Stratosaur. Or the Plasmoth, actually. As Swolder is now... Swolder got provoked by said Plasmoth. Plasmoth is dead due to the Hellstorm. It is now a 2v4 from for Zuhaer's side. although if anybody, it will be Strats who are able to do this. And we actually see the Cleone come out. Cleone is very threatening right now. It is only truly being threatened by maybe a Dark Surge from the Eruptodon, and a Toxic move from the Swolder, maybe a Baneful Bash. Or a Bug move, actually. Counterpoise is all the more threatening. But this Stratosaur is offering super effective, potentially turbulent boosted damage onto both the Swolder and the Eruptodon here, which I believe will pick up a one-hit KO onto the Eruptodon, which is most definitely something you should watch out for, as Gray's Lumines are probably trained slower than the rest. Swolder returns back to its Lumidisc in return for Luxor, as Eruptodon Magma Block stalling out. But Cleone bait uses bait as the Stratosaur magnifies. While no progress was done with the Cleone, the Stratosaur was able to magnify freely, and now Luxor is being threatened by a super effective Metal Blast that will be picking up a KO, as no Clutch plushie will be able to save it. Maybe there's the potential of a Metallic Pearl that might be able to save it, but I'm not sure if that will be able to keep it from doing enough damage. The Metal Blast looks incredibly threatening onto the Luxor, as Cleone can just keep this Stratosaur safe under all circumstances. Eruptodon swaps out for Nemesis, as Zuhaer does Soul Burst his Stratosaur. I was supposed to say Plasmoth. As he Soul Bursts his Stratosaur, of course Nemesis is offering incredibly large amounts of damage onto this Cleone, and so that is incredibly threatening. I'm unsure if Jetwing will be able to pick up KO onto the Nemesis before it will be able to pick up a KO onto the Cleone, but we do see the Stratosaur dodge. And the Luxor does Swift in. This will make the Nemesis, I believe, faster than the Stratosaur. And we just see the Wave Shell Tsunami coming from the Cleone, doing understandably minimal damage onto the Luxor and the Nemesis, even with the Wave Shell boost. We now see the Luxor swap in for Eruptodon, as Cleone uses bait, probably tanking a Pitch Black boosted Shadow Pulse. Although, alas, it's not dealing that much damage due to the incredible melee defense, or range defense of Cleone. Now this Airstrike going onto both the Nemesis and the Eruptodon will be doing not very effective damage onto the Eruptodon, but it will be picking up a KO onto the Nemesis, as it is actually a critical hit that is 100% picking up a KO under all circumstances. And this Eruptodon will still be slower than Stratosaur. Now, is Swolder faster than Stratosaur? Yeah, is Swolder faster than Stratosaur? If it is, then that is incredibly good for, Apollo. Whoa, I'm getting all the names mixed up. Stratosaur dodges, as Eruptodon uses a Magma Block of his own. Swolder Baneful Bash goes into Cleone, will KO. Zuhaer was probably looking for that, the Tsunami again, quad super effective onto the Eruptodon. Swolder Baneful Bash going into the Stratosaur, not quite picking up a KO, as Jetstream goes into the Eruptodon. Eruptodon faints. It is a 2-1. But Swiften is now out. It's just up to if you can Energy Cell, but I don't think you can Energy Cell both of these Lumines at once. This seems like an unfortunate game loss for Zuhaer, as it was just in the grip of his hands, but a couple good turns from Gray's side, and that is it. But we actually do see the Luxor being faster than the Soul Burst Stratosaur, which is very interesting. I want to see what adjustments that both might make to their own sides. Obviously, that ability Thief Preemptive Strike is really good, however, it didn't actually pose that much of a threat in the long run. Game 1 goes to grade 2-0, only having the Swolder and the that guy, Luxor. Jesus, I'm so bad with names today. I feel like Zuhaer's gonna need to make some really good changes up to his team, as it wasn't really doing much the previous time. He kind of just clicked the move and then died. Or the Ragoon just clicked the Preemptive Strike, stole the confidence from the Luxor, which did cause it to flinch, which is extremely good. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like that could have been used in a different way. See the battle start, we see Ragoon and Cleone, a slightly different lead from Zuhaer, and then the Luxor and Aolyvul. Now, Ragoon's ability Thief is not able to steal the Festive Spirit ability from Aolyvul, however, it will still be able to steal the Luxor's ability of Confidence, stopping it from setting up any Swiftens on this turn. But this is an incredibly passive lead coming from Zuhaer, which will enable this Aolyvul to do almost whatever the heck it wants. Gamma Pulse is incredibly free, as it is not affected by the bait from this Cleone. And will be probably picking up a one-hit KO onto this Ragoon. Ragoon Preemptive Strike onto the Luxor, stealing its Confidence ability. Luxor flinches. Aolyvul does just use a Gamma Pulse that will pick up. Ragoon holds tight to its clutch, plus that is not a one-hit KO onto the Ragoon. Apologies for saying that it is. And then Cleone's stratagem into the Luxor will only be bringing it to just below 50% HP, bringing it to the yellow. But this Ragoon is now on 1 HP. This Cleone is still threatened. This Aolyvul is looking almighty powerful, as there's no provoke to go into that Luxor. Luxor Swiftens as Aolyvul just uses another Gamma Pulse. Will pick up a KO onto the Ragoon. And then Cleone, still a resisted hit. And then Stratagem, not quite picking up a KO onto Luxor, and is not a 2H KO. You see the Plasmoth. Plasmoth does not outspeed either of these Lumions now, if Aolyvul has speed investment, due to the Swiften that was just set up from the Luxor. I really need to start bringing water when I'm about to do commentary. Number 1 rule. Cleone is looking very weak into the both of these. All it can really do is bait, and bait. It's this Aolyvul can either Blast its Luxor teammate, but it won't do that today. We actually just see the swap onto the Swolder, as Aolyvul also swaps out, presumably into the Eruptodon, but no, it is actually Nemesis coming out. But as Plasmoth dodges the opposing attacks and Cleone tsunamis, the Wave Shell not bringing either of the Lumions to the red HP. Nemesis only taking maybe about 20%. Nemesis swapping out, threatened by the Plasmoth, going back into Aolyvul, as Swolder Baneful Bash goes into the Cleone, picking up the KO that it just barely needs. As Plasmoth Blast, there is nothing to target. Tried to do the side Blast, healing the Cleone back to uh, trying to heal the Cleone's HP back. But it just didn't work out. Zuhaer's lagging, so he can't select his last Lumion. See that the last Lumion is Stratosaur. Now this Smolder is incredibly weak into this Stratosaur right now, as Toxic Filter is presumably up, making it so that this Smolder cannot use its Toxic type Baneful Bash move onto the Stratosaur. And then Counterpoise is quad resisted, but we actually do see the swap into the Nemesis as Plasma dodges, stalling at the last turn. As Stratosaur also dodges, stalling at the last turn of Swiften, as the Flash simply gets dodged by both the Plasma and the Stratosaur. Swiften stops, and now it is Stratosaur and Plasma against the Worlds. Obviously, both of these offer incredibly strong, super effective damage into both of these Lumions. And we know from the previous game that Luxor is actually faster than Stratosaur, surprisingly enough. And this Hollow Bunch is at a weirdly low amount of energy. It has not been able to get any energy regeneration. So it is at about half the amount that it usually is, provoked from the Plasma going onto the Hollow Bunch. As Stratosaur magnifies, not fearing the moves coming for it. Nemesis Pepper Burst onto the Stratosaur, hits twice, not bringing it below 50% HP, as Flash and Flee goes into the Stratosaur. Now, we do know that this Plasma is faster than the Luxor, so this Luxor is not safe, even if the Stratosaur is slower. But this Stratosaur is not safe from another Pepper Burst coming from the Nemesis. So it is very likely and possible that we'll see the dodge from the Stratosaur as we see Plasma killing this Luxor. If any one of Gray's or Zuhaer's Lumions has the ability to clean this up, it will be Stratosaur. Stratosaur is set up with a +2 boost. Luxor does Swiften, not being faster than Plasma, as Nemesis Shadow Pulse picks up a KO onto the Stratosaur, while just doing a little bit of chip onto the Plasma. Plasma, Fair Blast, another side target, and just barely not picking up a K, or just barely not healing it up fast enough. Luxor swaps out into Hollow Bunch. Nemesis Pepper Burst goes into the Plasma. Charged Perk will be removing its passive energy regeneration. As we see the Plasma Zip Zap go into the Nemesis, not doing that much damage, respectably enough. And this is a 3-1 forfeit for Zuhaer. Good game and well played.